All right, this is Jeff Zimmerman with FightNews.com. I've got one of the veterans of the sweet science, Abel Ramos. He's on a big undercard, March 25th, Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez, Showtime pay-per-view. How you doing, Abel?
I'm doing good, man. Training hard.
Yeah, I know you are, and I listened to your press conference with Cody Crowley. You got a big fight, undefeated guy who's starting to make some noise. But listen, before we get into the fight, as we were talking about at the beginning, you've been around for a while. You're in Arizona, kind of what I consider a fight state. I'm in Texas, another state that loves their boxing. Talk about how you got started. You come from a boxing family. Your brother was I think he fought, right? Got into boxing, kind of the family business.
Yeah. My two older brothers used to box in the amateurs, and that's how we started. We used to watch every fight every weekend, and then my brother decided to start training us and took us to compete.
Yeah, and from what I read, you were overweight as a kid, but you guys would get the big pay-per-views. You would practice or envision your ring walk. Take me back to that time as a kid. You're watching like the legends, like the De La Hoyas, the Chavezes, Finito Lopez. I mean, the Mexican legends at that.
Yeah, man. I have good memories. The fights used to, as soon as they ended, we would bring out the gloves and go against my brother. Man, he's a year older than me, so we used to put on the gloves, and that was it, man. I mean, we loved boxing. We just loved it.
It was in your blood from the beginning.
Yeah, yeah,
Now,
of course.
you mentioned about Chavez Senior, Julio Cesar Chavez Senior, one of the legends of the sport, being your idol, and even to this day practicing that left hook to the body. Have you met Chavez and had any conversations?
No, man, I haven't met my hero, man. Hopefully soon, man. That would be an honor for me to have a conversation with him and just appreciate his boxing, man. Tell him that he was an inspiration to me.
Well, we need to get the WBC president, Mauricio Solomon, to listen to this interview and make that happen for you.
Yeah.
But you're also, talk about the family business. Your brother, or I'm sorry, your nephew, Jesus, is the co-main event on this card. How cool is that?
It's awesome, man. It's awesome. It's gonna be a great fight. Two undefeated fighters as well. Prospects coming up. I mean, that's exciting, man.
And how good is your nephew?
He's very good, man. He's very good.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to be a hell of a fight with Joey Spencer, huh?
Yeah, man. It should, man. But I think my nephew has the experience. He's so young, man. But he's a veteran in the ring, man. And I said it before, and I think his experience is gonna get him the win that night.
All right. Well, I'm going to talk to him a little bit later today. But speaking of experience, again, you've been around for quite some time in your early 30s now. 27-5, 2 draws, 21 knockouts. Been in the ring with Regis Prograis. Who else? Ugas. These guys are world champions. Omar Figueroa. Who was your toughest fight?
Toughest fight. Oh man, I mean, there's been a lot of tough fights in my career, man. But I think the hardest one for me was the Baranchik fight, just because that was an all-out war. I think that was a hard fight to get through, but I learned a lot for myself that fight. That I can push through and get through a war like that.
Are you surprised? You fought Prograis, I think it's been about 8 years now, and he's another dog. He just keeps coming. What are your thoughts on him? And now he's got a title again. Would you like another crack at him?
Yeah, man. I think I fought him when I was like 12-0. No, it was early in my career, but I remember him just being real tricky, man. At that stage of our careers, he was already real tricky, real the slick southpaw. And yeah, man, hopefully we down the line we can get it. I think he's still at 140, but maybe we can do something at 147 later on.
That would be an amazing fight. Now let's talk about what you got coming up here on March 25th. You're on the undercard again of one of the biggest fights in boxing, at least scheduled at this point. Two guys that clearly don't like each other, in Caleb Plant and David Benavidez. You got a guy, Cody Crowley, who, 29 years old, a little bit older, but he's now starting to make some noise in the sport. What are your thoughts on him? And as a fighter, just, what are your thoughts on the fight overall?
Yeah, man, as a fighter, I see him as a tough opponent. He likes to come forward. He likes to put a lot of pressure on fighters. And I'm expecting a good fight from him, man. I'm expecting a good fight, but I think my experience and all the fights that I've had before, they're gonna give me the key to the victory for this fight.
He seemed to try to get under your skin a little bit. He seemed pretty aggressive on the conference call. I think it was yesterday. But obviously you've been around. I'm sure that doesn't faze you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he had a lot to say. He's saying that he's gonna be on me and he's gonna be on me like glue. So I mean, it's good, man. It's good. It's good that he has that mentality, But it's gonna be a mistake coming forward against me, man.
He also, I think, mentioned fighting in a phone booth. Have you ever fought in a phone booth?
Man, look at the Baranchyk fight, man. That was a phone booth fight, and I think Baranchyk was a lot stronger than him. So I'm not afraid to go to fight in the fight booth in the phone booth. I mean.
Right, right. And what's it like? You talked about your brother. He started a gym in the family garage, I believe. It's boxing's in your blood. Kind of that Mexican warrior. I mean, what is it like to then have your brother in your corner as you're on a big card on Showtime?
It's so cool, man. I mean, we used to dream about this fight. I remember in the garage we used to talk, and my brother always used to ask us questions because me and my another two brothers used to box. We used to train at the same time, and he used to ask us questions like, "Well, what do you guys want from boxing?" And we were young, man, and I remember telling him, "Man, I want to be a world champion. Those are my dreams." And now that it's here, like it's big fights and big arenas, and man, it's just amazing to see that he's still with us and still believing in me. That's amazing.
But even though it was your dream back then, you did have some rough spells, and some time off, and you almost hung up the gloves at one point. What was going on back then?
Yeah, man, it was hard because after the amateurs, we thought I was already tired of the amateurs. I wanted to turn pro, and we had no idea how the pro business went. How to get fights, how to get any of that stuff, and being a young man at the time, had my girlfriend. I wanted to take her out to eat. I have money at least to go out, and yeah, man, I considered stopping boxing, just getting a job and moving on forward. But no, my brothers always supported me, and they told me, no, don't give up, man. Like you're close, and I'm glad I listened to them.
No regrets.
No regrets, nope.
Yeah, and you talked about, wanting to become a world champion when you're a kid, you're young, active and hungry. Is that still the goal, hoping this fight kind of launches you into a title fight?
Yes, of course, man. That's still the goal. That's still the dream, and that's what gets me up every morning, man. Just I want to accomplish that dream.
Let me ask you too, Abel, and I'm here with Abel Ramos. Boxing's the family business. Got a big fight coming up March 25th under Caleb Plant, David Benavidez. Talking about David Benavidez, another Mexican warrior. His dad, another family business. His dad trained him, and his younger brother was highly touted, Jose Jr., coming out of the amateurs and signed by Top Rank. I think the youngest at the time. Both, ties to Arizona. I don't think they're there now. I think they're in Washington State. But do you guys have any relationships there? Have you guys worked together in the past?
Oh yeah, man, lots of times. They were from Arizona, so we used to get a lot of sparring with Junior, with Jose Benavidez Jr. We used to get a lot of sparring sessions in, and I remember seeing David. He was a young kid, and man, you can tell he was talented by then. Man, he was sparring big guys and beating them up. So the Benavidez are good. They have good boxing skills, man.
Yeah, and if I recall, David's backstory may be similar to yours. He was a chubby kid growing up, and just got into the ring. Got into boxing. Through the family, and here he is today. Former two-time world champion.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. That's how it starts sometimes, man. You want to make a change in your life, and you don't know that change is gonna change your entire life and entire future.
So you're not surprised by David's success then?
No, not at all, man. And it's hard to like my nephew. He was around boxing his whole life. It's hard for them not to be successful in boxing because that's all they see, man. And but of course they gotta want it too. They gotta have a passion for it. But yeah, man, just any of my little nephews, like they know how to fight just because they're around boxing so much. They just know how to fight.
So speaking of your other nephews, besides your one fighting on the same card, you see any others in the family that might have potential talent?
Yeah, of course. Well, Jesus' little brother, his name's Jonathan Ramos. He's in the amateurs now, fighting, and he's doing real good too, man.
So I'm sure he's already being scouted then.
Yeah, for sure, man. He's getting groomed.
Yeah, yeah. Again, we're here with Abel Ramos. We'll wrap it up here in a minute. Jeff Zimmerman with FightNews.com. How much longer, Abel? You are a little bit older, although early 30s. You do want a title shot. How many more years do you see in your career?
Man, I'll see how my body's doing, later on. Right now I feel good, I feel fresh, I feel I feel young, man. I feel like I can still be in the sport for a long time. So, but hopefully, man, I'm hoping 5, 6 more years.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So plenty of time.
Yeah.
Let's do some quick predictions here. There's again big fights. Hopefully, will get made. Some have already been announced, but let's talk about the one on the card you're on, Plant Benavides. Who do you like and why?
I like Benavidez to win by maybe by a stoppage in the later rounds. I think Caleb is going to give him a good fight, maybe for 4 or 5 rounds, because he has good boxing ability. But I believe Benavidez' pressure, his output is just it's gonna be too much for Caleb Plant.
How about Tank Davis and King Ryan Garcia?
That's a good one, man. That's a good one. I'm leaning towards Davis a little bit just because of his experience. And but it wouldn't surprise me if Ryan could beat him, man, because he's explosive, he's got power, and he's big. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan catches him and beats him, but I'm leaning towards Davis more.
Any chance that fight goes the distance?
Um, it could. I think it could. I think Davis is a smart fighter. If he feels the power, he's gonna box him. He's gonna use his rings experience to box him and move around. But that's the only way I see that fight going the distance.
What about Devin Haney and Lomachenko?
I think Haney got that one. Lomachenko hasn't been looking like himself lately, and I think at 135 he was never like a big fighter at 35. And Haney is big, man. Haney's big. He's fast. He's young. So I would give the edge to Haney on that one.
And possibly, if this fight were ever to get made, Spence and Crawford, who do you like in that?
Oh, that's a good one, man. I think that's a 50-50 fight, man. And if I would have to give the edge to somebody, I think it would be Crawford, man, just because he's so athletic. He has that switch. He's a switch hitter. He can go from southpaw to orthodox, and just his. I think I'll lean a little bit towards Crawford, but I think that's a 50-50 fight. That would be a great fight.
Yeah, let's hope it happens, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, listen, man, you get, like I said, you got a big fight on your hands. You got a lot of years ahead of you, as you mentioned, but this is a big fight, for your career, I would imagine. An undefeated guy in Cody Crowley, who's looking to make some noise. What should we expect on Saturday, March 25th, on the undercard of Showtime pay-per-view?
You guys should expect a great fight, man. I always go into the ring, with the winning mentality and with the mission to make the fans happy that night. So they're gonna see a good show, and we're gonna get that win.
Awesome, man. Abel, I appreciate the time. I wish you nothing but success in this fight and going on, and looking forward to it, and good luck on March 25th.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.